All right, I just turned record on, so we are officially recording. I record,
Oh,
yes.
I'm sorry. So I was asking, how do I watch a record?
Well, yesterday is the first day that I actually successfully recorded and turned it into a video. So what I plan to do is send you the link to the video after it's done. And we made that decision for a couple reasons, but mainly we I I I want for our just for our class. I don't want to publish them out on where anybody in the world can just click on it and see us studying together. So anyway, I will send you a link later on today that has it'll be two videos, yesterday's and today's, so you can watch those.
Thank you.
And in the future, if you ever want to see any videos from the past, you just need to shoot me a text or an email and I will send you the link. Okay? Thank you
Perfect.
for asking that, Billy. So we are on record. At any time, if you don't want your face showing, you can turn off your video. But rest assured that these videos are just for our class and only our class will be sent links, just in case you need them. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Now, Joe, you picked up your workbook yesterday.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
So the way it's organized is in the front. Oh, here, I'm going to turn on my camera for you. In the front, it starts out with some worksheets, and they are numbered at the bottom of the page. It's just a handwritten number there, and that's the worksheet number. I did not label the backs. So that's all it's going to do. So we've already done 1, 2, 3, 4 the first week. We did 5 yesterday. And so today, we're on this worksheet labeled Crail's Chickens. So I recommend that you actually take well, it doesn't matter for you. It's okay with me if you take the worksheet out and write on it, and then when you're done with it, you can just throw it away. You don't have to keep it, and you certainly don't have to hand it in. But it's okay to keep it if you like. I have an answer key that looks exactly like this, except it has every problem worked out in excruciating detail. And when you're ready to see the answer key, just ask me and I'll email it to you. So you can check your answers as soon as you're ready. Now, I happen to know that Maximo has already done this worksheet. So I don't know what, I think you should work on something else for a couple of minutes, Maximo, unless you just want to work some of these problems.
I want to hear. I want to see. I mean,
okay.
If you don't mind.
Okay.
I like to see it.
All right. So, sometimes this doesn't work very well. There we go. That is working too well. Okay. So all of these problems can be solved using cross multiply. And over on the right, there's some hints, and this didn't copy very well. So this has part of the cross multiply set up for you, and then you have to put in the rest. So we have Crail, his chickens lay 8 eggs per 2 days. How many days will it take for Crail to get a dozen eggs? Well, first of all, you have to know that a dozen means 12.
12.
And you have to memorize that. Okay? There aren't very many things that I tell you have to memorize. So when we're setting this up, since eggs is on the top here, I'm going to put 12 eggs on the top here. And then you just cross multiply. So multiply across from top to bottom. 12 times 2 is 24. And then you divide by whatever number you haven't used yet. 24 divided by 8 comes out to be 3 days. And so here's the correct answer there. Okay, this one is partly set up for you. And let's see, last week, Ricardo worked 25 hours and earned 205. Okay, so Ricardo's hours are going to have to go here because we have to keep his hours with the amount of money that he made that week. And over here, he's going to work 35 hours, but we don't know how much he'll earn. So we've kept hours on one level, and we've kept these hours with the dollars. Go with those hours. And then we just cross multiply, and it comes out to something. $205 times 35 divided by 25. I got 287. This question can really throw students because it doesn't seem to make them want to do anything. Well, you still need to do something and then see if one of these answers looks like what you did. So we're going to set this up like this. 2.5 yards of fabric to make 2 pillows. So I'm going to put 2.5 yards to 2 pillows. Which proportion, blah, blah, blah. For yards of fabric she needs to make 3 pillows. Now, 3 pillows is going to have to go on the bottom. And this time when we multiply, we'll go this direction. 2.5 times 3. And we're going to divide by 2. $3.75. It didn't ask us for the number of yards, but it wants to know which of these looks like what we set up. Let's see if any of them looks like that. Oh my gosh. This first one looks exactly like it, except it put N in there instead of the answer. Okay. I'm going to let you go. Oh, you're going to get to and say, I don't know what to do. Joe, are you ahead of me yet on this worksheet?
I'm actually kind of stuck on number 2 right there.
Oh, this one?
Yep.
Yeah. And this one, just so you know, it throws everybody. Okay. And the reason why is because you actually have to do this thing twice to solve this. Well, that's one way to do it. Okay, so here we have a scale drawing, meaning that it's the same exact shape as the real thing, but it's miniaturized. So it says that 3/4 of an inch equals 15 feet. And okay, so in our calculator, we do have a fraction key. So we can always enter it just like a fraction. However, it's always easier to put in a decimal than it is the fraction. And when we're dealing with a fraction like 3/4, I just automatically think of 0.75. So that's going to be easier to put in the calculator. So that was the hint that I gave you here. But if we we need to set up a ratio for the scale. So that's that 3/4 inch is 15 feet. And then over here, See, the question is the dimensions of the sleeping area. It's dimensions. So it's going to want to know the width and the length. So we can start with either one first. Let's start with the length here. So here in the drawing, it's 1 inch. The inches goes in the top here. And when we multiply 15 times 1 divided by 0.75, oh, I get a syntax error. 15 times 1 divided by 0.75 equals, there we go, 1.0, and we hate this when we get this in the calculator, 1.33333, and that's because, look, I did the wrong thing. Okay, 15 times 1 divided by 0.75. There, that's the answer that I knew I wanted, and I finally got it. 20. So it's 20 feet. That means that this dimension here is
It's
20
20.
feet. Yeah. We still
The other dimension.
this one. So there's two ways to do that. One way is just like this. Wait, it's the same scale. But this time we're going to put in a 1/2 inch. And you could put it in as a fraction, 1/2. Or you could put it in as a decimal, 0.5. Okay. And this time we go 0.5 times 15 divided by 0.75.
Okay.
And it comes out to be 10. Now, there was an easier way to solve this. Since this is 1 inch and it stands for 20 feet, this is half as big. It must stand for half as many feet. So I'm pointing to this and it's off the screen. Okay, since so the dimensions are going to be 10 by 20, or they could just as easily have said 20 by 10. Doesn't matter the order that you list them in. Okay. And I'll let you finish those other two. Joe, are you about ready for the answer key?
Yeah.
Okay. And Billy, what are you doing?
I forgot my workbook today, and I'm in Albuquerque right now.
Yeah. Okay. So that's okay because we're about done with this. So let me send Joe the answer key, and then we'll go on with the next thing. Okay, there we go. Done. So now I will come back. Okay. Are you ready to go on now, Joe?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, because I don't have to rush you or anything.
Oh, no, you're fine.
Okay. Now I lost my pencil. Right. Okay, the next thing we're going to do, the topic for today is percentages. We're going to make them really easy. Oh, wait. I need to. Okay, here we go. Percentages I am positive that this definition is in your KET lessons, but this word here can be split into a couple pieces. So percent, per means out of, and cent means 100. So when we say percent, we're talking about out of 100. And percentages can all be solved using one of these. So we're going to cross multiply to solve them. And you can keep them pretty well organized if you just always do it the same way every time. 100% is going to go there. Percent goes above the 100%. And over on this side, the whole amount goes here, and the part goes here. So let's say that we have, let's make up a story. Let's say that we have 12 people online today. That would be the whole amount of people. And let's say we have 12 people online. And let's say that 9 have completed the pretest. Not to put you on the spot or anything, Billy, but 9 online right now, and 9 of those have completed the pretest. We could ask a question like, what percent of students have already completed the pretest? So the whole amount of students is 12. And the part is just those that have completed, and 100% goes here.
Well, I did the pretest, and for some reason I have to redo it. So I'm like annoyed about it.
Oh, no, I don't think you have to redo it. It always keeps showing up on the screen, but you don't actually have to do it. Is that good news? So
Yeah, well, I'm in the middle of it, so it won't let me move forward.
oh, you're in the middle of it. Oh, we'll have to check on that. We'll have to check and see what's going on, because it should let you just start up with the next question. That's what it's supposed to do. All right, so when we get this, we can just treat this just like we do any other proportion, except since it's a percent, you might think that you have to do something with the percent key, but the good news is you don't. This answer here is also going to be a percent. And since there's a percent in the top and the bottom, we can just ignore it. They kind of cancel each other out as far as the math goes. Okay, so 9 times 100 divided by 12.
100 would be 75.
It's 75. So that means 75%. Now, the really good news with percent problems is that we can use this same structure even if we have the percent, but we're missing one of these pieces. So I'm going to make up another problem. Let's say that we have 12 students online right now. And we're going to pretend that 50% of them have already passed a different GED test. And the question is, oh, how many students have passed a test?
6.
Yeah, 6. That's too easy. But let me show you how the math works here.
Okay.
So here, it's still going to be 100% on the bottom. We know it's 50%. And here we have 12 students, and that's all the students. So they're going to go on the bottom here. So this time we go 12 times 50 divided by 100. And yay, it comes out to 6, which is what we hoped. And 50% means half. So 6 is half of 12. So this all makes sense. We could also solve the problem when the whole is missing. So let's say I have no idea how many students there are online. I don't know how many. But I know that 90% of them have jobs. Now what do I want to do? Okay, and let's say that I know how many have jobs. I just don't know how many there are altogether. Let's say I want this to come out so that it's a whole number. All right, I'm going to do it easily. Let's say that I have 45 students have jobs. So we're going to do this. 90% is going to go here. And this 45 that have jobs, that's the part we're looking for the whole. So now we do 45 times 100 and divide that by 90. And it comes out to be 50 students. So 3 very different kinds of problems, but they're all the same. It doesn't matter. We work them all the same. Where you can find the percent, you can find part.
I was having trouble because the way I was putting the numbers, and now I get it.
Now you get it.
It just yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. This doing percents with cross multiply has made my life a lot easier. Once you get it set up, you just cross multiply.
Okay.
Other way to teach percents is with a formula, and the formula works perfectly, but you have to make a decision whether you're supposed to multiply or divide. And I don't like to make those decisions. I like just to set it up like this. And then once it's set up, there's no decisions left to make. Okay. Now, there's one other kind of percent problem that I want to show you how to do. Oh, let me see if I have a good example of one. I wonder what percents are in this book. Okay. So the ones that I've shown you so far are real basic problems, and those, if you get one like that, that's going to be one of the easier problems on the GED test. It's more likely when you get a percent problem that it's going to take 2 steps to solve it. So I'm going to try to show you a couple of different problems so you can see what those steps would be. So here we go. This is like real life. A refrigerator costs $580 and it's marked down 30%.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to figure out how much he's going to pay for the refrigerator. We're going to end up doing this. And I know we're going to have 100% here.
And the 30% on.
Well, maybe. I know that the 580 is like the full price.
To the whole number.
Yeah. So well, we're going to assume. Okay, so the full price of the refrigerator is 580, but we're going to mark it down 30%. So, I think I want to do it this way. There's two ways to do this. I'm going to show you one of them. It's going to be marked down 30%. So if you paid for the whole price, you pay 100%. But he's going to get 30% off. So let's take away the 30% from the percents. And he'll end up paying 70%. So this is the percent that goes up here. When we get this number here, that's going to be the actual amount that he paid. This amount is going to go with the 70%. So 70 times 580 and then divided by 100. Oh, got to turn it on. $406. So it took two steps. The first step was to figure out what percent did he pay. Yeah. Now, a different question about the same refrigerator could be, the refrigerator cost $580. It got marked down 30%. How much did he save? So that's a different question. Yeah, because we know that he saved 30%. So if you hadn't done any of this, if it was the different problem, you might set it up like this. This time we want to know how much he saved. He saves 30%. So this time we put the 580 in the bottom again, because it's still the full amount. But now when we multiply 580 times 30 and then divide by 100, we get 174. So that's how much he saved. Hopefully, the amount he spends and the amount he saves add up to be the total price of the refrigerator. Let's see. I'm going to show you a trick on this calculator. I want to add these two numbers, but I don't want to type them in. So I can just use the joystick to arrow up to the numbers that I want. As soon as it's highlighted, if I hit enter, it puts that in for me. I'm going to add, I'm going to try to get that other one highlighted. Whoops, I went too far. There it is. And hit enter, it puts it in for me. And now I can hit enter. And yes, 580. Right? Using the joystick to go back to numbers that are already in your display just might save you from making a mistake when you type a number in again. So anyway, nice trick. Let's see if I can find another. Oh, here we go. This is the other kind of percent problem that you might be asked on the test. As of January 1st, Theo's monthly rent increased from $585 to $615. The approximate percent increase was blank. So with this one, it's asking us the percent increase. And the first thing we have to do is figure out the increase. So it used to be 615. No,
No, it's
it used to be
585.
585.
585.
Now it's 615. So we have to figure out the difference. Difference always means subtract. So it looks like it went up by $30. Say, yeah, went up by $30. So when I go to do this, this percent I'm trying to find, and this is the increase. That's the part. So I know that's going to go on the top. But what do I put in the bottom?
The whole number,
Yeah, the bottom has
585.
full. So should I use the new rent or the old rent? And the answer is, since it's asking for percent increase, it's asking us to compare this to the original amount.
So 585.
So it's 585. And when you do a percent increase or a percent decrease or a percent change, you always compare it to the original amount. In this case, rent went up, but it's possible that some prices go down. So you don't just pick the bigger number or the smaller number, you pick the original number. Okay, so now that we have the correct number in there, we just cross multiply. And I have 30 times 100 divided by 585. And it's really common for percents to come out with a bunch of decimal numbers here. I just wrote down a few of them. But the question asked for the approximate. And
Five.
so that's closest to 5. All right. So here's what I know about your KET lessons on percent. They're really good. And you'll get plenty of practice. They also teach you to do it by cross multiply. So you can just read over the lesson and it should look pretty much like what I've shown you here. Okay. So any burning questions about percents before we go on?
On that page number 7, on the solving percent word problems, I don't know if I'm getting ahead of myself.
Oh,
It's question on number 2 with like a big number like that, or actually number 4 with a number like that.
We're looking for. Is it this problem here?
Yeah, number 4. Yeah.
Oh, number 4. Oh, we're saying on day 7. This one. Oh yeah, isn't that an enormous? Those are big old numbers, aren't there? Yeah. Okay. So I know I'm going to go like this. No, that's going to be 100%. And I know the 8 points. Oh, you can't see what I'm doing. It's because my book doesn't. There, now you can see it. Okay, the 8.6 goes here. And then, yeah.
Big number.
So typically, this sales amount here, that's the total amount of sales that they made. That is the whole amount. And is it 49,600,000?
600.
Now, you can put this number in the calculator, but you can't put the commas in there. Okay, so we're going to cross multiply. I'm going to do 600,000 times 8.6 and divided by 100. And it comes out with kind of a big number,
Yep.
about 4,265,600. Yeah. Yeah, that's Billy's profit off his day trading this week. $4 million.
Okay, got it now. I was confused on if I had to take that 8.6 and subtract it from the 100 to get the.
Oh,
I understand now. Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
you know, the key clue word of, whether you're going to have to subtract it or not is, if there's a percent off or a percent savings, those kinds of things, it's like it should clue you into what you're not, the percent that you're not having to pay.
Okay.
All right, and so this was a question about tomorrow's worksheet, and it's okay to get ahead, although sometimes I won't be as generous with answering questions when you get ahead,
Okay.
but that was fine. Okay, so the next thing that I'd like to do is actually an activity, and you're going to have to get some parts out of your workbook. And Billy, you'll just have to look at what's under the camera, I guess.
Okay.
So in your workbook, toward the back, you can find a purple page that says activities.
Yep.
And we already did the integer algorithms one, but we're going to do this one here on Mona Lisa. Is that you? And so I recommend that you take these pages out. And we'll need all the pictures of Mona Lisa too. There are a few pages. And that the other thing that you'll need, unless you happen to have a real one handy, the very last page in your workbook is a ruler. So you have to take that out too. And now I have to look for my other thing that I need, my thing. Oh. Good one anymore, that's okay. Okay, we're going to start out just with looking at what I have on the screen here. And as it turns out, Mona Lisa, everybody's heard of the Mona Lisa, right? Painted by Leonardo da Vinci. He lived from 1503 to 1506. So that's a long time ago. And just apparently a really amazing painting. I've never seen the original. Below is a good.
Where is the original?
What's that?
Where is the original?
I believe it's in the Louvre. And we'll have to look that one up. But I hope that it's the original that's still there. You know, sometimes people replace it with a fake that looks so real that we don't realize it for a long time. Okay, here we go. In actual size, this is a good reproduction, a miniature of it. In actual size, the length or height, I don't care what you call it, but this thing right here of the original painting is about 30 inches. I'm going to write that down. And the question is, what's the actual width? Does it feel like I haven't given you enough information yet? So, here's what we can do. I'm taking my ruler and I don't know, if you have scissors, you can cut this apart, but if you don't, you can do what I'm doing here. We're going to use the ruler that on one side it's inches and on the other side it's centimeters. And today we're going to use the inches. Just kind of folded a little bit of the edge out of the way. I can use this ruler to measure the size of my reproduction. And when I do that, when you make these measurements on this particular exercise, you're going to want to measure to the nearest 1/2 inch. Sometimes when I copy things on the copy machine, they don't come out exactly perfect. This is not exactly perfectly 3 inches. It's either the ruler that's off or it's the copy of the Mona Lisa that's off. We're going to measure it as if it's exactly 3 inches. So it's 3 inches. And if I measure the width is 2 inches. Now in real life, this 3 inches stands for 30 inches. So 3 inches to 30 inches is the scale. And we can do something like this. Three inches, 30 inches. So on the bottom here, I have the, I'm going to call this the 3 inches. That stands for the miniature, and the 30 inches stands for the original. You know what? That's okay. That's okay. We can do it this way. Okay, now I know on this side, since I have the miniature up top, I can put the width of the miniature over here. And when I cross multiply, I can get an answer for the width of the original. If I could find my calculator. Okay, lost it. Not gone anywhere, so I know. Oh, no, that's the phone. Okay, so somebody else calculate for me. 2 times 30 is 60. Divided by 3 comes out to be 20. Okay. So we're going to use cross multiply to help us make decisions about the other questions that we're going to be asked. This one here is a good original. And if you look at your pictures of Mona Lisa, there's, I mean, I can just look at that one and I can tell there's something wrong with it. Okay, it's way too wide. Or you could think of it as way too short. Either way of thinking it. Those two look pretty good. Seems to look pretty good. Some of them, you know, I'm just not sure if they're right or not. And each one of these reproductions is labeled with a letter.
Yep.
So just spread them out there and look at them, and just on your worksheet here, just list the ones that look right and list the ones that look wrong. And just use your eye. Your eye is going to be very good at identifying these. I'm going to give you a couple minutes to do that. And, oh, Billy, I have to show them to you. Are you still there, Billy?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, do you want to see them? Did you do this in class one time?
I think so.
Okay. So out of these drawings, this A here, that's exactly like the good, that's just exactly like the good one I already showed you. Okay, so A is good, and compare everything to A. All right, so Billy, is B good or bad?
Bad?
It's bad. How about, let me make this look. There we go. A is good. Does C look good or bad?
Looks good.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. Is good. How about G?
Nope. Way too long.
Way too long. Okay, that's going to be bad. Oh, I don't know if you can see the whole thing. Oh, that's pretty good, except it's out of focus. Okay, this is F. So this is good. Is F good or bad?
Looks good.
I don't have it.
That was good.
Looks pretty good.
Yeah, I don't have
I
F.
end up with two Fs. Did everybody end up with two Fs?
I don't have F.
You don't have F. F is good. I did
F is
something.
good.
I did something wrong. Oh, A, B, C.
F was on the back of G.
I'm missing D and E. Oh my gosh. Do you guys have D and E?
I got D and E.
Yeah,
Oh,
I got.
good.
Yeah, I got them.
Well,
I got two E's.
But D looked good.
does D look good?
Yeah.
D good.
Okay.
E.
And how about E?
Yeah,
No,
no.
I think it's too white. I think it's too white.
Okay, E is too wide. Okay, and how about B? Did anybody get B? Oh, here's B. We already looked at B. E was,
B is
Yes,
like E, just longer.
okay. So, sorry about that. You should have seen me when I was putting all of these workbooks together. I had stuff all over the counter about, oh, at least a foot deep. And I did get confused from time to time. So, okay. We'll kind of divide and conquer here. So what the next step is, and you may already be ahead of me, it wouldn't surprise me. The next step wants us to take measurements of the good reproductions, the width and the height, and so, or the ones that we think are good. And we're going to use math to prove that they are good reproductions. So we're going to measure A, C, and D. So, I already measured A. Where's my ruler now? Oh, here it is. A is 3 tall and 2 wide. I've got C here. So I'm going to call this one 4.5 high
3.
and 3 wide. Mhm. And I don't have D. Somebody that has D is going to have to measure it for me.
It was 5 wide and 7.5 long.
Okay. And while we're at it, let's go ahead and measure the distorted ones. Did anyone measure B?
It was B was 3 wide, and then 2 height.
2.
Yeah, so notice that the dimensions are just reversed between A and B. C, D. How about E, F, and G? Okay, did anybody measure E?
It was 6 by 6.
Oh, okay. And how about F?
That is going to be 6 by 9.
6 by 9. And then G.
This one's a funny one. 4.5.
Okay. Yep. 4.5 wide. Did you get 9 tall?
7.5 now.
Okay. Now let's do some math with these.
Don't have that one.
Okay, on the back, create a set of equal ratios, the dimensions of the good reproductions. Okay. So these ratios, it wants width over height. And this one must have been A. It was 2 over 3. C is going to be 3 over 4.5. And then D is going to be 5.
7.5.
5 over 7.5. we only found 3 that we think are equal. So I don't have anything to put in there. Now, I've said that these things are equal, but I need to prove it. And there's a couple ways to prove it. But one way is to use cross multiply to prove that each of the ratios is exactly equal to 2/3. So I'm going to compare A to C. So we've been doing cross multiply for 2 days now. And when we cross multiply, we multiply from top to bottom, and then we divide by whichever number we haven't used yet. But that gives us a missing number. Here we already have all the numbers. So I'm just there's 2 ways we could think of this. One way to use cross multiply is to pretend like one of the numbers is missing.
Okay.
Now, when we go ahead and cross multiply, it's going to be 2 times 4.5,
Nice.
9, divided by 3. 9 divided by 3 is
3.
It's 3. So when we cross multiply, we do get the same answer that we were expecting to get, and that proves that these 2 are equal.
Equal.
I'm going to show you another way to prove that they're equal, and it's also using cross multiply. It's a little bit different version of cross multiply because we have all 4 numbers. You have all the numbers and you're trying to decide if 2 ratios are equal. You multiply across from top to bottom. Well, I can go this way. 2 times 4.5 is 9. Write the answer on top or this won't work. And then cross the other direction. 3 by 3 is 9.
9.
If these 2 things come out to be equal, that means these 2 ratios are equal. And it always works. I think it's so miraculous. Let's try this one and compare it to 2/3. And let's use this method. And right now, I'm really not quite sure if they're equal. I haven't proved it yet. Put a little question mark there. Okay, when I cross multiply, 3 by 5 is 15.
15 into
2 times 7.5,
15.
also 15. Ooh, cool beans. So I've proven that these 2 ratios are each equal to 2/3. Does that prove that they're equal to each other? Yes. It also
Yes.
proves that they're equal to each other. Since this is equal to 2/3 and that's 2/3, they must be equal to each other. If you're not sure, we could see if those 2 are equal. Okay, 3 by 7.5. Oh, I haven't found my calculator yet, so I'm not gonna be able to do that. 5 is 22.5. 4.5 times 5.
22.5.
That's 22.5 also. Yeah. You might be asked on the GED test if 2 ratios are equal to each other. And now you know how to answer that question. This also works if these things are fractions. These ratios are fractions. Okay, the next one says, use cross multiply to prove that each of the ratios of the distorted reproductions is not equal to 2/3. So let's find one of these. Let's do B. Let's do 3. It's 3 wide and 2 high. You have the width on the top here. Hopefully, anybody that just looks at those two ratios will know those are not equal. But if you're not sure, we could go ahead and cross multiply. 3 by 3 is 9. 2 by 2 is 4. Those two are not equal, so those two fractions are not equal. And we have an additional piece of information. 9 is bigger than 4. So I know that this whole fraction over here is greater than this fraction. So I'm going to put a cross right through that equal sign because we proved that they are not equal. We can do the same thing with the next one. Let's try one that's kind of weird. Let's do the 6 by 9 one. 2 by 9 is 18. 3 by 6 is 18. Ooh, look at those two are equal.
Those are equal? Yeah.
Yeah. So that 6 by 9 one is a good reproduction. Let's look at which one that is. That's F, and that's one that I don't have. Oh, here I have a copy of F. I don't know if you guys have it.
Oh, my bad. I totally put F on the good side. On the good reproduction, but that's good.
Yeah. Okay, so here's F, and it does look good, and it is a good reproduction.
I don't have F.
You don't have F?
No,
Yeah.
I don't have F.
I think that's the one that was missing. So here in our worksheet, where originally we listed F as a distorted, it is not distorted.
No, it's a good production.
It actually needs to go over here. This whole thing should go over here. You don't have to correct it on your worksheet. This was just, this was just what we did by eye. So, questions about this?
No, not yet. Not yet.
It's
it's pretty good. I mean, we find the ones that are disordered.
yes, right.
And the good ones.
And sometimes if you've ever enlarged or shrunk a picture on your computer, if you want to make this thing, if this was on your computer and you want to make it bigger, you could make it bigger just by stretching it this direction, but then it would be distorted. To make it bigger and keep it from being distorted, you have to grab a corner and you have to make the length and the width bigger at the same time.
So it'd be perfect.
So anyway, any questions about that?
Nope.
Nope. Okay. Another question that goes along with this same idea, I didn't make it up. It was actually question number 5 on the worksheet that I left off. And I left it off because the way it was worded was so horrible. Nobody knew what they were asking. But let's see if I can ask it. If we take this one right here, picture that's 3 wide and 2 high. I know I have it somewhere. I had it somewhere. Where did I lose all these? Where does this stuff go? I have not left my chair, and I've lost a piece of paper and a calculator already today.
Not good. Not good.
Okay. Oh, well.
It's the moon, Mary.
Do you think we could blame it on the moon?
Yeah.
It was bright last night. I'm sure that's what we'll
See?
3:30. Good Lord. All right, so let's do G, because I do have a picture of G here. So G is 4 by 5, 4.5 wide, and 9 tall. There we go. And it's still, the whole thing doesn't fit on here. Oh, now it's, okay, definitely distorted. So, could we fix this thing? What would we have to do to it to make it right? So the answer, there's two correct answers. We could make this right. It's too tall and skinny. We could fix it by making it wider, or we could fix it by making it shorter. So let's say that we like the height, but we don't know how wide we need to make it. So we like the, let's see, we're gonna do the correct one, the correct proportion is gonna be 2 wide and 3 tall. If we want to keep it 9 tall, we can just cross multiply like that to find out what it would have to be. So 2 by 9 is 18, divided by 3 comes out to be 6.
6.
So we'd have to make it, we'd have to stretch it out. Right now it's at 4 point. That's so interesting. I have the number 4.5 written right there, and it's invisible on the screen.
4.5.
Disappeared. Look at, watch, you can watch me write it. And then it disappears. Isn't that cool? Okay, so we'd have to just stretch this out from 4.5. We'd have to stretch it out another 1.5 inches to make it right. Okay. Well,
Yep, makes sense.
done enough on, oh, a perfectly reasonable GED question would be, how wide would you have to make this picture to make it right? Or, I want to leave it at 4.5. How tall would it have to be? So that comes out to be the same. This is just so bizarre. I can't stand it. I don't know why it's, I think it's,
I think it's the light.
it's the light. Let me see if I can turn the light back on again. I accidentally turned the light off. I love this. And all this is getting recorded. Whoever watches this is going to go, oh, my teachers, what a goofball. She can't find her light. She can't find, okay. All right, there we go.
Did you have coffee, Mary?
That didn't help, did it? Okay,
No.
we're done.
You're going to have to do something stronger.
Yeah. And actually, Vicki, I don't drink coffee. I don't use caffeine at all.
Hot tea.
Not even the little tiny amount of caffeine that's in chocolate. If you gave me 1 square of a Hershey bar, I would wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and be completely wide awake and ready to go.
Whoa.
I don't know how caffeine knows
You
when it's
know,
4 o'clock in the morning.
yep. I was told the best wake up caller in the morning would just be some hot water.
Oh, that is so divine in the morning.
Yep, just
know.
plain hot water.
I do
Drink
that.
it and it wakes you right up.
Well, and if
Another thing too is the Himalayan salt.
what do you do with that? Just put a little on your
You
tongue?
just put a little bit of it in the water and boil it, and then just keep
Ooh.
adding it. That's another natural
Wake her upper.
energy. Yeah, wake her upper.
Wake her upper.
I gotta have I call my fix the coffee.
Yeah.
I don't have that, so I am grumpy.
Well, and I think most people in the United States, most
It's it's
drink
not good.
coffee. They have an addiction
No.
to coffee.
Well, that's helps my migraines.
Well,
Some
and
people the caffeine sets it off. Yeah.
there's been a lot of research that proves that caffeine, now I can't remember exactly how this worked, but caffeine helps you form memories. So when you're trying to learn something, if you have a little bit of caffeine in your system, chemically, it's going to help those memories form better
Oh
than
wow.
the same person didn't have caffeine.
Well, I'm having more coffee then.
Now, I'm positive that if you drink too much coffee, it makes you so nervous you can't sit still and pay attention, and you don't even get the information in to form a memory out of it. But, oh yeah, many times studying for tests, I wished that I drank caffeine so that I would be able to
Oh,
memory
nice.
boost.
Good suggestion and a good advice. I'll keep that in mind,
I
Mary.
know. It makes us feel good about drinking our coffee.
Can imagine though,
So
without coffee.
today in KET, and I'm just going to admit, I think I said this yesterday, when I log into KET as a teacher, things just look different to me than they do for US students. And so sometimes I don't know how to tell students how to get to a particular screen. So Joe, I think you discovered yesterday how to get to your study plan. Is that true?
Yeah.
Would, would you show me? Do you know how to share your screen?
Yeah, let me see here.
Hey, I get to. Oh, I saw some money go flashing by, Billy. Was that
Yeah, I'm on a trip right now.
was that part of your $4 million profit that you made today on day trading?
I wish.
Okay, so there we go. I don't know if it shows my screen on my computer.
Well, it's not showing it yet. Do you know how to make it do that?
Let's see. It says share.
Share
Oh,
screen? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's on your end. I don't know if it will let you grant access to me.
Oh, does it tell you you don't have access?
Yeah, it says host disable share.
Okay, wait. Mine doesn't seem to indicate. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Oh.
Is it okay? Let's see.
Okay, is it going to let you now?
No, I don't know. Actually, I do. It's only giving me options to share like a URL
Okay.
or a.
Yeah. Okay. So,
Can I walk you through it?
yeah. If you take your cursor and go down to the bottom of your screen, do you see a green thing that says share screen?
Share. No, it sadly only shows the share. Share.
Well,
So
in the
there's-
share, has an arrow off to the side, or if you just click on the green thing, it'll let you share.
Mhm.
Here, I'll do it, Mary.
Laptop, yeah. Sorry.
So you
Okay.
did it?
No, he did not. But Billy, do you know how to do it?
For some reason, this Zoom.
There
is-
we go. Billy has started sharing screen. Okay. Ooh, cool. Nice.
Um, hey, Noah, can you be quiet, please? Thank you, buddy. All right, so see what it gives me. Just pretest.
Right. But that will always show up even when you've completed it. If you click on the picture.
Really?
Yeah. So click on the picture.
Okay. Oh, I get it now. Okay.
Okay. And yeah, there they. So yeah, so it just gives you the list.
Okay, I get it. I'm sorry, I didn't know that. I feel dumb.
Oh no, because that happens to everybody. And here you go. We have one student. We didn't know what was going on. We hadn't used KET much. And every time he logged in, he took the pretest. And then he'd go do a lesson. And then he'd log out. And then he'd take the whole entire pretest again. That went on for months. And he finally got so frustrated that he complained. And that's when we figured out you don't really have to do that.
I feel dumb too.
Okay. So the lesson, ideally, the lesson that everybody would work on today that goes with the percent lesson is that 2.3, where it says percent.
2.3.
Yeah. And so that would be a good assignment for you. And
What dot did you say?
3.
I got 3.1 dot.
Okay, you want 2.3
2 dot.
right there where it says percent. Yeah.
And the category of the problem with ratios.
And then Mariana. So if you click on the pretest again, for at least me, I've completed it, and then it will show like my math study, like the one that gives you one of the answers.
Oh.
Kind of shows you it on my screen. It will be like, let's see here. So if you click the test, it will show you your points and your grade, and then on the feedback it says there's a direct link, and then when you click that link, it will show you, everything's what's been completed and what hasn't, and signed by test and signed by teacher.
Oh yeah, that's what I want. So, can I want?
Like on my screen, it shows it all completed, and then like assigned by the teacher for like, at least towards me, it'd be like 1.1, 1.3,
Right.
3, 4, 2.
Right. So tell me again how you got to that screen. You click.
When you click on the pretest,
Okay.
it will show you the score, and then in the feedback, there's a link.
Okay. So it's the feedback that has the link. Okay, cool. So I'm going to try to remember that for the next student. I ought to just sign myself up as a student so that I actually have to do all of this. Okay, cool beans. Thank you for showing me that. So what I'm going to do now, does anybody have any questions at this point? Recording. I want to pause. I want Billy to stop sharing. Okay, thank you. I think I could have made you stop sharing. I think I'm in control of that. What was I going to do? Oh, I'm just going to tell you that I will send you an email with the today's assignment 2.3 on it. And then later on, when the video is finished, I will send you a link for the video. It takes about 2 hours for it to get done. I don't know what it does. It does some magic, but it takes a couple hours. So it'll be much later today when you see that video. And, you know, if you don't need to rerun the lesson, there's no point in your watching the video, except I'd like for everybody just to see if the link works and, you know, if it's what you expect. And so you don't have to watch the whole thing, but at least try to load it and maybe look at a little bit of it. And let me know if you see any obvious problems with it.
I see.
All right.
So
So
the assignment will be 2.3.
2.3.
I think I got 2.1 and 2.2 yesterday, so
Oh, good. So
I
you're
believe I
good.
got it done.
So you can just keep working ahead.
And I see the assignment. That's what I was just listening. But yeah, it just it told you what assignments to do when you
Yeah.
do the pretest. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, isn't that nice?
Uh-huh.
So you can choose any of those other assignments and review them as often
Okay.
as you want.
But yeah, but it's I mean it's pretty nice that
It's
you
nice.
teaching us and learning twice. It's good.
Oh, good. Good.
So-
I'm glad that's working. This is the first time that I've taught a math class using the online version as kind of part of the class. So you guys are guinea pigs along with me. They called me a guinea pig when I agreed to teach summer math class this year. It's time for this. Okay, if you don't need anything else from me, I'll stop recording and sign off. Does anybody need anything before I go?
So with doing these assignments, like do we go over the problems that like we may have missed, or like would that just like raise on your side?
So yes, please. If there's any problem that you missed and you don't understand it, a lot of times you miss it. Once you see the answer, it's like, oh yeah, I know how I should have gotten that. But if there's ever a problem that you just don't understand, take a picture of it and text it to me. That way I can see the exact problem and I can help you as soon as I get the text, or we can save it until the next class period. Either way. Chances are if you had trouble with it, it's something that other students would learn also.
Okay.
Okay.
Awesome. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anything else? No?
No, thank you so much.
Okay, I'm going to sign off.
Hey, wait, Mary.
Oh,
Yes.
So you want to do a tutor? Is that you texted me?